So we are in Malaysia right now, staying in an Airbnb, the family and I. There's the kids out down there playing their video games. Good way for us to go out and kind of check out the town. I wanted to do a quick video on this Airbnb because it actually made a great example for what a sort of really stripped down Airbnb would look like, and how by just not having some of the like very basic amenities that you can actually earn yourself a bad review. And then even just the condition of the property, how the property presents itself when you arrive, how that can affect things. It's not a bad property, pretty good location, pretty good setup. There's 6 beds in here, queen and both. We won't take a look at those because the family's in there, but so good setup, good location, all of that. But they went cheap with the amenities and some of the things that you would expect in a short-term rental, in an Airbnb traveling. And of course, if you're setting it up like this, you're going to have kids. You're going to have to, you're going to want to cook. You're going to want to, do laundry. That's the point of getting a short-term rental versus, say, some kind of hotel. So let's just take a look real quick. I just want to show you around. I want to show you how stripped down this model is, and you can compare it to any of the other videos we've done on our properties where we literally have everything you could possibly imagine to need as a guest. So just walking in, again, the space is very is decent. Good view, large area, nice sized kitchen, so you could cook if you needed to. Nice sitting area. They did actually very well on the design, the layout. Actually, a nice little kitchen, eating area in front of the windows, TV. When we came in, we had this very strong smell of mold. Or mildew. And if you look at here, I'm not quite sure what's going on, but this should never be a part of any Airbnb whatsoever. It looks like they did some kind of a repair here. You can see they actually took out some of the baseboards to replace it. So this is actually in one of the bedrooms that are down here. Our concern is that there's a very strong musky smell, almost like a smell of mold. And this is coming out really, really dark actually on the video. It's a little bit lighter than this, but it is definitely noticeable. And when you come in, you can smell sort of that bad air. You're kind of wondering what it is. This right here is a very bad sign and would make a lot of guests actually just want to leave. When we went into the sheets and the blankets, we actually felt that they smelled as well on the same thing. So it makes it really hard to just to sleep at night. Coming into the kitchen, they do have a rice cooker. I guess this is probably important for Malaysia. You can do some steaming here. There's a little pot to put water, cold water. There is a hot water steam here. So if you're going to make tea or if you're going to make some instant noodles, you could do that. Microwave. But if you'll notice, there's actually nowhere that you can actually go in and put or make any kind of coffee. So I came out here. I usually travel with some coffee pods of a coffee I like. There's no espresso machine. There's no drip maker. There's no French press. There's no coffee option whatsoever, which is kind of a crazy thing because most people have coffee. And so what I started to do is I just started to open up the drawers and look at this. If you'll just notice, there is literally all this cabinet space, but there's nothing in the drawers, which leads me to believe, why have a large kitchen if you aren't going to have any kind of supplies? So these are actually the cups that are in the building to use, and here are the plates to use. So you can imagine if you had a family, again, this is set up with 6 queen beds, so technically up to about 13 guests, and that's actually what the listing says. There's actually not even enough plates for you to use. These plates are actually pretty cheap, not a big deal, but they're not really great. For the pricing, it would be a little more, and then all they actually have is coffee cups. So last night I was drinking my little white oak Japanese whiskey and a coffee cup. Again, not a big deal, sounds a little bougie, but for the price and where you're staying, you should have a proper, maybe a wine glass or some sort of a sipping glass, a water glass, a coffee cup, and so forth. Again, why the coffee cups if no coffee machine? Very simple, sink, wash area. There is a washer and dryer outside, but there was actually nothing to get this started. Now, this is kind of typical for the washer and dryer to be outside, so no critique there. But there's actually no pods or anything like that, so there's actually no way for us to do laundry. Now, I don't expect for a host to actually go in and provide you everything that you need. But usually, and I actually got this from another short-term rental, that you do what's called basically a starter pack. So you actually don't even need to have tons of shampoo and conditioner, although that is one thing that we have full bottles of. But a lot of places will at least give you like 2 rolls of toilet paper. If there's a washer and dryer machine, there'll be 3 or 4 pods in there, maybe a couple belt sheets. But there's enough just to kind of get you for like a day, so that when you arrive, if you do have clothes you have to wash, or you couldn't make it out to the store like we did last night, we got in pretty late, about 9:30 or so, didn't necessarily want to go out. We were unable to go wash our clothes, unable to do any of those things. And so a starter pack of just having some of the basic necessities that you needed would have actually gone on a long, long way. Instead, now we are, one night in, waking up, I'm walking out to get coffee, can't grab coffee, so now I gotta go find a place to go do that. We still gotta go find some laundry pods or something to get the laundry done, so the kids can really just kind of get set up in this property before we really start getting head out on the town. Again, it is something, for the comments that I'll get, it is something that I could have probably looked. I'm not sure if this listing had that information. Sometimes they'll say we're not providing any of the soaps or any of the starters and things like that. Sometimes they don't provide those things, and they don't mention it at all. So it's just kind of a surprise when you get here. And I would say 99% of the time, there's always at least an initial supply, and in most cases, there's a full supply of all the things that you're going to need for your trip. Full toilet paper, full pods. In our Airbnbs, and every single one of them, again, we're managing about 200 properties. Several of those are going to be short-term rentals. We have enough product, and actually we have entire storage closets with extra product, towels, tissue paper, whatever you can possibly imagine, so that the guest never has to go get it. We just include it into the price, guys. The pack of, some toilet paper, or the pack, a couple of extra little things here and there, it really does not cost necessarily all that much. Add an extra 20 bucks to the booking, and, make sure your guests are taken care of. That will ensure that you have really good reviews, 5-star reviews all the time. And then you don't have to worry about some of the negative stuff that you get from people expecting something, and not having it. Again, not a big deal, not a huge deal, but it is if you want to maximize your ROI. If you want to make sure you get 5-star reviews, which is the number one thing, obviously getting additional bookings, make sure your guests are taken care of. And if you're not going to, make sure they know about it with probably a direct message letting them know that sometimes you don't necessarily have the necessities, so they should bring those. Again, very, very important if you want to stay focused.